Hello and welcome to Solidworks Station. My name is Stuart and in today's tutorial we're going to have a look at creating this 4-part elbow bend in the sheet metal tab in Solidworks. For those of you that are new to Solidworks, this might prove to be a little bit difficult. However, bear with me and I'm sure you'll get through it. If you run into any problems, please get in touch and I'll be happy to help out. Best of luck everyone, let's get started. So I've flipped into SolidWorks here. I'm going to go to File and New, and I'm going to create a new part. I'm going to go into my front plane, Normal 2, and I'm going to produce a circular sketch from the origin point, and I want to make this for construction. I'm going to get a line now. I'm going to draw a line from my top quadrant to my origin, and then across to this quadrant over here. Press the Escape key. Select both of these lines. You can hold down Control and left click on each. The other way of doing that is the two selection boxes. You've got a blue selection box and a green selection box. The blue selection box will select anything that is entirely inside it. The green selection box will select anything that is touching it. So I just want these two lines to be selected, so my green box can go like this. I'm going to make these two lines for construction and green tick. I'm going to go to Trim Entities, Power Trim, and just trim that away. Green tick. I'm going to go to Smart Dimension and give this a value of 1000 millimeters, and this will also be 1000. I'm now going to go up to Line and I'm going to draw in my profile for my 4-part elbow bend. So this is going to be the path that the profile will take. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I want to make this line here vertical. I want to make this line, hold down Control, and this line, I want to make them equal. I want to make this line, hold down Control, and this line equal. And I want to make this arc and this line, I want them to have a relation of being tangent. Green tick. And the same for the other line. Hold down Control, tangent, and a green tick. I'm going to give this a smart dimension of 300, green tick, and I'm going to close the sketch. I'm now going to go into a top plane and normal 2, and I'm going to produce a sketch of a circle down there. Give this a smart dimension of let's go with 400. Okay. Once you've got that 400 millimeter circle in, close the dialog, close the sketch. Go into Features, go to Swept to Boss Base. This is the profile. Select the circle. This is the path. Select the path. Okay, we don't have to look at anything else within this particular area for the time being. We're happy with the standard settings, so green tick. Okay, so what we see here is our 4-part elbow bend. However, it's solid at the moment. We need to shell this out, and we do that by going into Features and clicking on Shell, and this will remove material from a solid body to create a thin walled feature. So we're going to left click on Shell. We're going to click on this face here, and we're going to give the wall thickness of this 3 millimeters. Okay, and green tick. Control 7 on your keyboard will do a nice isometric view. And if you go up here to section view, you can see we can have a nice section through that. This is in the front plane, This is in the top plane. We can drag our arrow up and down. Okay, and this will be in the right plane, and we can do the same there as well. Okay, green tick, and if the section view is still showing, you can just turn it off by clicking again on here. The next thing that we need to do is to create a gap in this part where it will be rolled and then welded. We're going to do that at 1mm. So to do that, we're going to go into our front plane and normal 2. We're going to go to sketch, circle, and we're going to sketch from our origin to around here. Okay. And close the dialog. Now you'll see where that's been drawn. Okay, it's been drawn halfway through that circle. So we're going to go into features now, extruded cut, and we're going to go into mid plane, and we're going to type in here 1mm. Okay, so it's going to go either side by 0.5 and green tick. So you can see now it's produced a cut, okay, all the way through at this part. Okay, so I've noticed here, alright, that it hasn't actually made it hollow all the way through. If we go into a section view, I'm just going to go into this top plane here. Just going to drag this up. I'm going to flip it round actually. And you can see, if I just confirm this, okay, that we've still got a base here at the bottom. Okay, the reason for that is because if we just come out of section view, go into shell and edit feature, we only clicked one face. Okay, we clicked face 1, we didn't click phase 2. So go into phase 2 here, click this, okay, and just green tick it, and that will resolve that issue. Okay, right. Next step, we need to split this part up. All right, so we can start to produce individual drawings that are flattened pieces of metal that are ready for machining, and we can convert these drawings into a DXF file and then send that out to a machine for cutting. So in order to do that, we need to go to reference geometry, which is in the features tab, and we're going to go to planes. We're just going to click on the edge of this circle, okay, and green tick. Press escape because we don't want to be still on plane 1, so just press escape. Go on to reference geometry, plane, click on the edge of this circle. It'll go like a deep orange colour once you're over the top of it, and left click. And again, reference geometry, just make sure to press escape first. Yeah, we don't want to be on plane 2. Reference geometry, plane, and green tick. Okay, we're going to rename these, so I'm going to right click on them and I'm going to rename the tree feature to split 1, right click, split 2, and finally split 3. The reason I've done that, I just like being organised for one, and another one, it's best practice really for you to just keep these nice and neat on the left hand side in the features manager. Should you or somebody else come to use this particular model, everything's really organised and it's easy to find your way around the work. So the next thing that we need to do is actually split this up so we can get the individual bodies of this elbow joint and send those out as DXF files. So we need a split command. Now there are two ways to do this. I'm going to show you the first way is to go into direct editing, and you can go into split. If this isn't available, right click and look for direct editing here and just make sure you've got a tick at the side of it. If you haven't got this open, okay, another way of doing it is typing split into this area here and click on the magnifying glass. You can click on the command and it'll use it as normal over here. It says split. Alternatively, if you type in split, click on the magnifying glass and then click on the eye, it'll actually show you where it's located as well. So under insert, molds and split. Okay, quite handy. So I'm going to do my preferable method, which is under direct editing, and I'm going to say split. It's asking me for the trim tools. The trimming surface is this one, and this one, and you can see they populated over here on the left hand side, and simply click cut part. Ensure that consume cut bodies isn't ticked here. Cut part. Then we can find number 1, number 2, number 3 and number 4. Again, just ensure that cut bodies, consume cut bodies isn't ticked. If it is ticked, we'll end up losing some of our model. So these 4 highlighted and just green tick. Perfect. So you can see now we've got our 4 bodies and they're listed over here under solid bodies. Split 1, split 2, split 3 and split 4. Now to get a DXF from this, really simple, just right click on the split under the solid body and go to insert into new part. Just left click there. It's telling us now it's about to insert this into a new part. We can give it a file name. It's giving us our template settings. I'm just going to green tick this. Now it will come up with a warning message on my SolidWorks telling me that the template used for making the derived part has different units of measurement. Do I want to change the units of measurement of the derived part? No, I don't. Okay, I can save this. I'm going to save it as sheet metal elbow part 1. I'm going to override that file. And now I want to flatten it. So if I go to sheet metal, flatten isn't available. I can't click on flatten. That's because I need to insert bends. So the reason we put this cut in here, okay, this 1mm cut, is to place this bend in it so it actually flattens the sheet of metal. It would be rolled like this in industry and it would be welded afterwards. However, in SolidWorks we need to click on this insert bends button prior to flattening it. So under sheet metal and insert bends, just click on the edge of one of these 2 lines, either this one or this one. Once you've selected it, okay, you don't need to change any of the settings here. Your bend allowance should be at the K factor of 0.5 and just green tick. Okay, nothing happens, but it has been turned into a piece of sheet metal and it is allowed to be flattened now. So if I click on flatten, okay, and I go to this face here, click on it and do Control 8 on my keyboard, I'll get a normal to view. I can then go up to File, Save As, and I can save this as a DXF file. And save. I want to export as sheet metal and just the geometry. That's it. Okay, and green tick. And what we've got there is the actual piece of metal, how it would look like as a line drawing. We could send this out, this DXF file out to a machine, and it would cut it accurately. What we do from here is you'd go back into your part, you pick up split 2, you'd right click, you'd say insert into new part, and you go through that same process in order to produce each one of those drawings. You could, if you wanted to, go into sheet metal elbow 1, you could say file, make drawing from part. Let's just do this on A4. Okay, and it's got a British standard A4 sheet of paper there. and you could drop in a top view. Okay, and you could scale that up. So if you just click on this, and you could change it to your scale here. Okay, so use custom scale. It's at 1 to 20 at the moment. You could have it at maybe 1 to 10 if it fits, and green tick. So you could have all these. Okay, you could have different views of it. You could have isometric views of it. You can also do that with the drawing itself as well. So just close this down. Just going to save that. With this one, you could do exactly the same. So you could do file, make drawing from part. I'm going to save this as complete sheet metal elbow. Okay, and just save. Pick an A4 sheet, and the same principle applies here. I could get my my front view. Okay, my top view, my side view, and my isometric, like so. Okay, and I can change the display of that just by clicking on that viewport and going to maybe shaded. Okay, so that concludes that video tutorial on how to produce an elbow bend, a 4-part elbow bend, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've run into any problems at all, just drop us a comment underneath the video. I'll be more than happy to get back to you. Thanks very much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for another video tutorial from Solidworks Station. Thank you and goodbye.